we just get worn out with the wear and tear that goes to the mind and the body in terms of adulting, that we forget to chase those childlike aspirations that we had from 20 years ago. Like most people watching this video, you're not doing what you said at 6 years old when somebody asks you what you want to do when you grow up. You gonna stay true to you, or you just gonna conform and do what society told you grown people supposed to do once they hit a certain age? Most people get up every day and do what they feel like they have to do or they gotta do. My children don't be knowing what the day is or what the time is. Like, they got Rolex watches and all, and still they're like, I don't know what time it is, Dad, but I like the fact that they have a sense of freedom that they literally just don't have to take life serious unless they just genuinely choose to.
Pay attention and listen, we about to teach class. Inside the vault, my man Ash Cash. So get your man right. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. you see him, you change your life. Millionaire mindset, the best on earth. Blueprint of wealth, the knowledge network. So get it while you can, and he's standing right here. Just come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Come inside the vault and see black millionaires. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You won't ask cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.
All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. Yo, listen, when I tell you this interview right here is gonna be one of the most dangerous interviews you will ever see in your life, because I have the most dangerous person on the planet. We're gonna say the most dangerous person on the planet sitting here, right? But before I even give him his intro, right? This one for me is special. I'm gonna tell you why it's special, right? I'm gonna take you back four years ago. Take you 4 years ago. So real quick, one of my favorite songs is Jay-Z, You Don't Know, right? And there's a verse on You Don't Know where he says, I came into this motherfucker 100 grand strong, 9 to be exact for grinding G-packs. Put that in motion, ain't no rewinding me back, right? And so, but I'm gonna rewind it. I remember I had a radio show in New York about 4 or 5 years ago, the Ash Cash Show. I'm on WACR, and DG was in town. And at the moment, I reached out to him like, yo, can you come do the radio show? Came through, did the radio show. And I believe, and I could go back, but I believe at the time, his net worth or how much he had made, and I don't know what the net worth was, but the number was like 800,000. Right?
4 or 5 years? Yeah, bro, that sounds right. Yeah.
About 800,000. And I remember we talking, he was like, yeah, you know, like he gave me mad bars, right? And so I ain't a new fan, right? And so to be able, right? So it's documented, 800,000. And to see this man today, on his way to the Billy, do $11 million in a year. To see that in real time, to see that in real life, to really, and you said it though, right? We talked about it, and you said, and that's why I said on his way to the Billy, because you said that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And to see that, and to be able to know that 4 or 5 years ago you manifested, you said, yo, easy.
Yeah.
Yo, Derrick Grace in the building. What's up, my bro? What's up, man? For those who don't know. For those who are living under a rock, who don't know who Derrick Grace is, in your words, who is Derrick Grace II?
I mean, bro, my answer usually like a short, super modest one, but I'm a pops. I'm an educator. Yeah. I like speaking about financial literacy, family business, building empires, just putting our people in position. That's like what I really focus on, and that's my forte, just doubling back, spreading the opportunities amongst our people, and making sure the only people that's eating or sitting at our table are people that we wish to actually be there, not people that we force to do business with, conform, or none of that. So, yeah, bro, I like to take the crown for the family business aspect, feel me? I put myself on, put my children on, double back, grab my mama, my daddy, siblings, uncles, all type of relatives. Yeah.
No, I love it. And I think that, I mean, what connected me with you the first time, was I forget, my daughter's 13 now, so you got to say she was like 8 or 9 years old at the time, and I remember
that story.
Yeah, right. I remember that my daughter, like kids, will always test my patience, test my nerve. I grew up getting beatings. I grew up being disciplined, and so I just passed down what I knew.
Right, for sure.
And then one day, you say, yo, why you want your kids to be afraid of you? Why are you passing down slave mentality?
Yeah.
And it did something to my soul.
Bro, it did the same to me because I whooped my oldest son maybe twice, but it was that second whooping. I was just like, this don't even feel good. Like he's shooking me right now. Like this ain't a father-son relationship.
Yeah. And haven't touched my daughter since.
Right.
In fact, I've empowered her to another level.
Right.
We have conversations. We talk things out.
Yeah.
She's a boss. She's 13 years old. She's a boss. And I credit you for that because in fact, I actually bought the curriculum.
Right.
And as I was like listening and reading the curriculum, there was a lot about parenting that I learned from you.
Appreciate it, bro.
And so one of the things I want the folks to understand, or this is Inside the Vault, so it's like a whole mindset thing.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody looks at you, right, jewels, tats on the face, all that stuff, automatically they make an assumption about who you are.
Right.
I know you behind the scenes. I mean, even if you watch your interviews, you're one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
Appreciate it, bro.
Right?
Thank you.
But talk to me, why did you decide to tat your face, and why did why put that stigma on you?
Got you. So bro, I'm actually one of the people that gravitate towards stigmas because I like the isolation that come with it. I'm not like the most sociable person in the world. So I remember back in 2012, I was a 911 dispatcher. I lost that job, and I just told myself like I never wanted to work for anybody again. And then I remember I went and got my first face tattoo, and probably within like 3 weeks I had like 8. I just went crazy with it. But the whole goal was basically to put myself in a position where I had to perform at a higher level. Because like when you look like this, corporate America ain't rocking with you. So that's initially what it was about, bro. It's just, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of the people still to this day, I function better under pressure. I'm still a procrastinator, like multiple businesses, daddy and all, I still procrastinate. Yeah. So I'm one of the people like, you give me some work to do and say 6 months, like I'm gonna knock it out at 5 months and 20 days. You ain't gonna know, but in the last 10 days, I'm finna crunch, boom, get it knocked out. So that really forced me to perform at a high level because when you look like this, you can't get a job no way. And I felt like if I had to put myself in that position, I probably would have settled, went and got another job, and just definitely wouldn't have been where I'm at right now. Yeah. And
I like that because one of my favorite books is Think and Grow Rich. And Napoleon Hill talks about, burning the bridge, right? Like once you cross to go to that island, burn the bridge. And so in fact, one of the things putting tattoos on your face.
Oh yeah, definitely burn
the bridge. Like, yo, I'm permanently unemployable.
Right.
Permanently unemployable. And so now, take us through that journey, right? Because, some people who are watching now may have not heard the story before, right? And so take us through that journey of, 911 dispatcher. You decide to do that. What was the thing that pushed you into like entrepreneurship that made you an entrepreneur? So
what it really did is like they didn't necessarily fire me off the rip. They suspended me indefinitely, and I didn't understand what indefinitely was until I experienced it. But bro, they basically just hung me out to dry for like almost 4 months, and for that entire period, I was just in like scrambling, trying to figure out how to maintain my life. I had a house, a vehicle, 2 children at this point. But bro, I really realized like people don't understand how much power we give these disenfranchised entities until they actually snatch it back. That's when you really realize like, oh, damn, I can't afford like the food I used to get. We can't buy Evian water. We can't, I can't even travel how I used to travel in terms of just moving locally around my city because I only had the gas to do it. So when that happened, bro, like that really just put me in a space to be like, I'm never gonna be dependent on nobody again. Like if we ever bump heads with corporate again, it'll be from like a partnership type situation. But I'll never let them like give me a ceiling. I never let them tell me what my hour were. And then from there, bro, I started a retail business with clothing. I had a plug and Foot Action and Jordan brand, no Foot Action and Nike. And she was getting me shoes out the back door. I started building relationships with managers all over the city thanks to her. And it took me 9 months to get my first transaction. So I definitely want to say it like it was a breeze, but it took me 9 months of like nonstop work. And then somebody finally bought something. I figured out a formula based off that sale, and I literally been repeating that for like 8, 9. That was 9 years ago. I've been repeating that like the last 8, 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then now, so you're into entrepreneurship. I think one of the things that I appreciate about you the most is your level of like knowledge of self, right? And your confidence in you, right?
For sure.
Where does that come from? Where does that level of knowledge of self and confidence come from?
So, bro, two of the biggest factors of that would be my mother. Like every day she would wake us up and be like, I have the most handsome sons in the world, most smartest sons. So nobody really can't tell me nothing different at 31. Like I believe that whether it's true or not, I'm rocking with it.
Yeah.
And then, bro, in terms of knowing self, I would say my mama too, but a big part of that was my pops, right? Because as far as I know, he's always been financially well off, but he still functioned. Like I just never seen him be extra. It got to him that like he was doing better than everybody else.
Yeah.
So like to this day, that keep me grounded. That lets me know that like my actual vessel far outweighs the materialism that I can acquire or the money. So I'd rather be tied up within myself, and rather than attaching myself to worldly things. So that's what really like the inner standing came from, and just knowing that like I'm the alpha and omega of everything. Like everything comes from me. I don't come from nothing. Like if I don't stamp it and say it's going, then it's not going. You feel me? Like I make the wave. Like I'm not looking to social media, television to dictate what success is or what you should look like. Like nah, whatever I'm doing is cool. Whatever I say is popping, and that's that.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then, as a successful entrepreneur, as somebody who's confident, as somebody who has this level of knowledge in yourself and putting yourself in position, putting your family in position, what would you say has been the key though? Why have you amassed a lot of wealth? Why do people hang on to you I got you. What is it?
Bro, I feel like when you can market, that's a win, right? But when you are who you say you are, you gonna win universally, and you gonna win like in terms of longevity. So for me, bro, I just deal in results. I feel like the bulk of life is psychological and numbers. And when people pull my card in either arena, like it always check out. So I think for me, one thing I tell people when marketing, like I focus on my strong suits and what differentiates my brand and my situation, products or services, or my likeness from everybody else. So even if you pull my card, it's always gonna check out authentic, because if I tell you like, if I'm giving you some game on gold, you're gonna bump into me one day and be like, okay, it kind of makes sense. I get it.
Yeah.
Or like, even down to my children, you can't make up an 8-year-old breaking down an AR-15 blindfolded in 6 seconds. So I think for me, it's just the authenticity and too like the relatability.
Yeah.
I still function from a place of like, just even with amassing how much that I have, I still don't function from a place of like, I am very private, but I'm not detached.
Yeah.
Like people still can look at me and see, or look at themselves and see some of me and one another. So the relatability is still there 1,000%.
I love that. And I want to unpack that a little more, right? Because I think that for me, I mean, for a lot of people, like the first introduction to us was that, right?
Right.
You kind of, standing and, your daughter, your son, with the choppers breaking them down. And, I mean, first of all, it's the hypocrisy, right, of America,
for sure.
right? Because when we see, other ethnicities do it,
right.
They become, they proud, right? They smart, right?
Yeah.
They see, a guy with dreads and tats doing that. Now he's irresponsible and he's a thug, and what is he doing? This is outrageous. But there's this shock value in that.
For sure.
And so that shock value of number one, being yourself, but that shock value of being yourself and pushing that out to the world has really helped. Talk a little bit about that shock value or that level of authenticity.
So bro, years ago, I identified certain things that like just made America cringe. And then I just was like, cool, so we gonna stay in this spot right here. Right. And I like it, like to me, bro, like it's, perfection is no fun. Right. Like as private as I am, bro, I have a lot of fun, and I have a lot of, I'm a very balanced man. That's the way to say it. I mean, so I like to balance ratchet and righteous.
Right.
So what I did as I began watching how they responded to the videos and the comments, and bro, I'm one of the people that like, I don't care if they love it or hate it. Just as long as you show up, I'm cool. Because even the people that hate it, eventually, not all of them, but eventually a mass amount of them come to their senses, and then they end up clicking the link in the bio just like everybody else did. So, bro, I like what you saying. I really drove it home on the controversy. So I tell everybody, like, I got like, just one of my marketing situations is controversy, education, and replay value. So if we referencing the videos with Derrick, the controversy is she's 6 years old. She may have used an expletive once or twice while she was given the education. So that is those are the possibly negative or positive talkative points. The replay value is what she says and what she does in this 1 minute video is going to pull you in at such a strong rate that you're gonna stop everything you're doing, watch it 3 more times, send it to 10 more people. Like, and then you're gonna tell 8 more people that night, like, girl, you gotta see this video with this little girl. And then, like you said, the shock value. I mean, all of it is shock value. A child being able to articulate that well, a child, breaking down a gun, or a child giving pertinent information that a lot of adults haven't learned themselves yet. So that was definitely one of my methods back then. And yeah, bro, it worked tremendously. Like, it stuck every time.
Hey, listen, it's Ash Cash, and I want to get straight to the point. If you want to change your money mindset so you can live your best financial life, then check out Mind Right Money Academy, the greatest money mindset financial education platform in existence. With Mind Right Money Academy, you'll get access to online programs that help build your money mindset first and foremost, but you'll also get practical tips on credit, starting a thriving business, learning the basics of investing, real estate, life insurance, estate planning, social media marketing, book writing, and so much more. We even have programs that help you manage your money as a family, how to thrive in your 9-to-5 if you have one, or how to diversify your income as an entrepreneur. You'll hear from some of my millionaire friends on how they got to where they are with actionable steps on how you can implement what they did in your life. And we'll have weekly coaching calls on different topics that will help you get to the next level. You'll get access to our members only group so you can find accountability partners and build your money team. You'll get discounts to premium content and live events. We even have a book club with assigned readings and discussions each month. We'll also give you access to Mind Right Radio, the VIP section, which is our 24/7 inspirational radio station. So I want to give you this special invitation to help grow your wealth consciousness and ultimately your wealth. So make sure you go to mindrightmoneyacademy.com. It's free for 7 days, so you have no excuse. Check it out. And if you like it, then it's $47 per month, and you can cancel anytime. But I promise you, you'll get so much value that you won't even fathom the thought. So head over there now, mindrightmoneyacademy.com, and I'll see you on the other side. Yeah. And so now you at a space where during a pandemic, you're able to make $11 million during the pandemic. You know, what is the formula to that, right? Like how do you take a situation that most people will look at as the worst situation, the world has never been through this,
right?
And you flourish during what's supposed to be a drought.
Right. To me, the biggest thing with that is solving problems. People that create products and services that solve problems are never going to go out of business because we live in a world that is going to produce problems literally every minute, every hour, every day. So that was one thing. And then thing number 2, bro, is just I started really like paying attention to the culture, to the things that they were losing interest in that they typically would be relying on due to traditionalism, like school, law enforcement, and banks. So like what I did from there is I just started honing in on teaching people how they can control their own bag under their own roof, how they can pull their children out of these disenfranchised systems that's teaching these watered down curriculums and start teaching them themselves. So really what I did with that, bro, and one of the biggest things I did, this is the biggest of them all in 2020, is I'm not emotionally moved by anything that's going on in the world. So what I'm not even into politics at all, but I did notice how bro could tweet and the whole world going to uproar. I do a lot of business in China. Like he was even messing up my shipments from China based on his tweets. So I'm like, cool. How can I leverage his name and get it to and harness the attention he get by just off his name when he tweet? And that's when we came up with post-Trump pack and post-Trump course. And next thing you know, bro, it went like wildfire. And the beautiful part about it was because it was post-Trump, a lot of people, because they're emotionally tied to the things he says, they jumped at it thinking like it was an anti-Trump educational packet, and I'm like, nah, it's literally just a title because I want my products to ring bells every time bro name ring bells, and I'm like, boom, it's election year, he on his way out the door, cool, let's just create some products, leverage it with his likeness, and run it up, bro. Like literally, the AC dude came to my crib probably like 2 months ago. And like on the way out the door, like patted me on the back and was like, man, I didn't know who you were the first 2 times I came, but I saw your website. Like, old white dude, like 70, probably 67 years old. He's like, I love Trump, man. I'm mad they got him out of there. And in my head, I'm like, bro, I don't give a damn about Trump. This is business, but cool. And he told me straight, he's like, when I get home, I'm ordering mine, man. Because he asked me, like, you got it? I'm like, no, I'll keep it in my crib. He's like, cool, when I get home, I'm finna order it. So, bro, even with the title, it still was like it still was anonymous because you had people who hated him and I was like, let me buy it because I'm finna learn how to hate him some more. And then you had people who loved him and I was like, well, don't say anti-Trump, so let me buy it too. And then both parties got there and was like, bro, I ain't say his name one time in this whole class and this whole pack. But bro, that was the game changer. That was one of the biggest game changers, just learning how to pull a him on him, like, because bro, I feel like he's very intentional. He know what he be doing on the internet.
Absolutely,
I'm like, cool, let me double back in. Like, tell everybody, study the woods. Bro, I've learned so much from that man, whether it be marketing tactics, but I learned a gang of stuff from him, and it really took me to a whole nother level.
And talk to me a little bit about that level of, I mean, first of all, the level of ingenuity, right? That marketing brain, but then also, you execute very, very quickly.
Right. So, bro, one thing I'm big on is not sitting on ideas. Like, I literally will come up with something tonight, I'll jump out the window tomorrow, and on the road to recovery or where we going, I got the whole team on the back end putting the pieces together to make sure it makes sense. So that's one thing I feel like differentiate maybe from most people. Like, I meet people all the time like, man, I got this idea, I've been wanting to do this, I want to do that. I'm like, well, just do it. Why you in there? Just hop straight out the window, figure the rest out on the way. So that was one thing. And then, bro, in terms of the marketing, that's really like my favorite topic in the world to teach about and talk about. Yeah, bro, what's the question with marketing? So I can make sure I answer specifically, bro. I can talk for hours.
Give me some bars, though. Keep the bars rolling, man.
All right, so for anybody that's watching right now, in terms of marketing, first and foremost, videos get 600% more traction than still pictures. Y'all got to get in front of the camera. I don't know how y'all want to compete with the big dogs or the little dogs, and because I meet people every day like, man, I got a business. I'm just shy. I'm like, well, yeah, bro. Imagine like have an opportunity to get an M, but you never got it because you're shy. So get active with them videos. Number 2, you have to be very intentional about when you're putting the videos out, right? So I'm gonna give y'all a quick breakdown. If I made a video right now, your thumbnail is very important, right? And I understand that I live in a culture that identifies with materialism. They're heavily attracted to it, right? So I'm gonna put the 41 millimeter as the thumbnail because I'm gonna capture your eye when you scroll in the timeline like, oh damn, look at this watch. But then when you get there, I'm gonna use the play on words like, hey, y'all running out of time. Click the link in the bio and grab your pack ASAP. So one thing I do use when marketing is my opinion, when you mix urgency, incentive, and scarcity in one, you create a beautiful storm. So here it is, right? Click the link in the bio, you got 24 hours. That's your urgency. Use discount code, and it's a real sale I got going right now. Use discount code MOM to get 50% off the pack. There goes your incentive. So now I'm rushing you, but I'm telling you like, hurry up so you can get the 50% off. And then what was that? My urgency, my incentive, and my, which one am I missing? Oh, my scarcity. And my scarcity is this. Y'all, we got less than 500 left. So like the way I market, bro, subconsciously, I want you to lay down that night if you didn't get it, and I want you to wake up the next morning and be like, I think I made a bad decision last night. And your old lady be like, what happened? I didn't get Derrick's pack. You feel me? So, bro, I intertwine those 3. I got multiple ways, but that's like my most definite one. But bro, when you mix those 3, it creates a beautiful, and when I say storm, I don't mean that negative way at all, but it creates a beautiful storm. And 2, y'all, just with that marketing tactic, a lot of times our culture doesn't understand value. So you have to demonstrate value for them.
Yes.
Sometimes you got to pull back and starve them out. Sometimes you got to miss that bread you was making on a daily to really show them that like, I'm not disposable, and I'm not gonna be here till y'all 80 and decide to support me. So yeah, bro, that scarcity method is definitely necessary to me, because we just live in a culture that has spent like, you know, 10,000 on some shoes, but you tell them, like Runway Business said something so real yesterday, bro. It's like, y'all want 7 figures but won't invest 4. And I was like, man, he ain't never lied. Cause that's the world we live in. People like, man, like I get people every time that get on my live, be like, so I'm gonna become a millionaire with this information. I'm like, bro, I'm not your pops. I'm not finna make you nothing. I'm not obligated to force you to be anything. Right. I'm gonna give you the game. Now it's up to you whether you're gonna apply it and put yourself in a better position. But yeah, and
I love that, because one of the things, and this is all it ties in, right? The confidence level you have, your marketing ability, and even that urgency that you're putting people through. It's not to get into something that you're taking advantage of people. It's actually stuff that will change their lives if they jump in, though.
And bro, this is the crazy thing about our culture is like, and I know people gonna feel this, but yo, a lot of times we have to trick our culture into bettering themselves.
Facts.
Because if I sold them some nonsense, it'll sell off the shelves every day. Yeah. But when I'm actually forcing them to do something uncomfortable or do something that their last 4 generations refuse to do, a lot of times they'll run from it. Like, bro, what I realize is like a lot of our people like the nostalgia and the feeling of success, but the action steps, that's a whole different story. Like, bro, I remember my first course, we had 2,700 students. This is back in 2017, and only 53 people completed the homework assignments that we was given. And I began to realize at that point, people just be wanting to get on your Zoom class and screenshot and be like, I was learning with bro today, but like, bro, did you apply anything I said? No, on the real, bro, a lot of times I actually do have to trick them almost into bettering themselves. Like I have to over market their betterment, but they'll invest in their detriment, you know, with no hesitation.
Yeah, wow. And where do you think that mindset or like where does that come from?
Well, bro, I think one is a lack of value. Yeah. Because I've seen like we often value everything but ourselves. Like we need our haircut bi-weekly. Like, bro, I told people, I told somebody the other day, like if they purchased a book as often as they got a haircut, their lives would probably be totally different. People get haircuts, typically men, get haircuts 26 times a year because they're going bi-weekly. Imagine like if you added 26 books to your collection, 26 courses, 26 mentors, 26 consultations, what type of you know situation you'll be in. So for me, bro, I look at it like, one, is easier. Like ignorance truly is bliss. It's easier just to be like, I didn't know, or nobody told me that. And then 2, like I said, it's a lot of times it's uncomfortable to invest in things that don't provide instant gratification. And that's another thing I think hold us back is we're just accustomed to like, you know, if I pay for it, is my life gonna change tomorrow? And I'm like, nah, bro, it took me 9 years to get to the point where I can even give you like literally $1 million worth of game. And you want to invest $40 in what cost me hundreds of thousands and get my results? No, that's not how it's gonna work.
Yeah. And I love that. And so now, you know, one of the other things that I've noticed, right? So I take copious notes every time I'm watching you, every time I get to connect with you. One of the things I notice is that even in what the outside world will look at as splurging, it is a business, like you're very methodical, right? Like even something that somebody looks at and they like, yo, this dude is bugging. Why he spending so much money on guns? Right? Why he spending so much money on jewelry? And then you flip it with a play that, I mean, obviously me as a business person, as a banker, I say, yo, this dude is a genius, right? Talk about that a little bit.
So bro, look, like, I call it ratchet investing, right? And it's not really ratchet, it's just people don't understand. You can shine and have nice things. It's just the way in which you purchase them to make sure that they appreciate. So like a lot of people just look at me now and be like, well, I don't got all my chains on, but they're looking now and just be like, why you got all that jewelry on? But they overlook the fact that, which I've educated them on, but you know, with my appraisal paperwork, like my jewelry got like a $1.5 million evaluation. Those are hard assets that like I could use, my children can utilize, or even down to the gun, same thing. Like I buy quality guns.
Yeah.
A lot of these guns actually appreciate with time.
Yeah.
So like they're looking at it as like people say this all the time in my comments, like, who you going to war with? And I'm like, nobody, bro. I just got rare guns that a lot of people don't have, so my children can leverage them at a later date. Yeah. Even like when I got the Donald Trump 1911, the Glock, and the Tommy gun, and people was in an uproar about it, like, you support this man? Why would you buy a gun? And let me get this disclaimer, y'all. I'm not one of them weird people who wish death on strangers, so I don't want y'all to think that's the case. But the way my mind work is, bro, got to leave here one day, just as everybody in this room do, right? Yeah. Do you know how much valuable his firearms are gonna be? They're more valuable now that he lost, but you know how much more valuable they're gonna be. Like I got a Desert Eagle that got all his children engraved on it, him, his hat, the elephant, dogs, all type of stuff. Yeah. You know, like, you know how valuable, you know what type of buying power my children gonna have? No cash, just straight guns, gold. Even like, bro, I got the Marty McFlys at the crib. I got the Red October Yeezys. I got a bunch of sample LeBrons. Yeah. But people see that too, and they just think like, oh, he finna get fly. Yeah. No, bro, these are never gonna touch the ground. Unless I sell them to your child and then he wear them. But no, bro. So for me, I definitely try to tell people like, you could definitely shine. You could definitely enjoy like the luxuries of life. It's just a way to do it to make sure it's not a complete liability, or you could leverage at a later date to get a win with it.
Yeah, no, I love it. And then even some of the moves you've been making from trucking to your security company and you got your FFL or is that am I saying that right?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to misquote it, but I think it's only 2 or 3 black owned in all of Florida, and we one of those.
Wow.
Yeah. Me and my pops.
Yeah. And so now opening up your own firearms store, right? Robotics, right? What I mean, even from a perspective of your board game, right? Like all this innovation. Where does that come from? Like what makes you like I'm trying to get inside the vault, right? Where's that coming from? Where, how do you how does the brain work where it's like, all right, like how do you know what to get into? Because it almost seems like you're ahead. Right? Meaning Appreciate that like while other people are just catching up to the space that you've been in, because and I'm a testament to that, where I'm saying 4 years ago I saw where you were. A lot of people are on it now. You actually on your way out, right? Because you're looking at other things. How do you get to that space? Or like again, it feels like you're ahead. How do you get that foresight?
So bro, for me the biggest thing is I got 6 children and I want my children to have options. So many entrepreneurs typically try to and I'm not knocking them because I had this mindset too, but they be like, I'm an entrepreneur, so my children straight. You feel me? They gonna inherit the business. But what if your children don't want to inherit the business? What if they don't have your hustle? What if they care nothing about numbers, selling, marketing, advertising? So for me, bro, I try to extend my portfolio as far as possible for the simple fact that, like I got 6, that's a lot of different personalities. What if one of them just want to read books until they're 30 and just, do the hippie thing? What if one of them want to run the business and the other one don't? So for me, bro, I try to spread my wings as far as possible to make sure that they have as many available options as they can in terms of finances, assets, and just buying power. And then more so like with the other part of having the foresight is, bro, I don't really study the market, but I just see small things and I be like, I'm gonna jump on that. So like, that's no different than like the video game will be ready this fall, PS5, Xbox, and PC. That's $1 billion industry. So for me, bro, one of the major things I learned with the board game is people look at black business sometimes as like a curse. I look at it as a gift. Because when you're actually able to infiltrate these industries that we typically would never in, you basically are able to, like, you create a new archetype and you're able to make a new set of rules. That's why I was able to sell a board game for $200. Hasbro, none of them never did that. Like, they've always stayed in a certain bracket. So for me, what I learned with that is I'm like, boom, all right, cool. If we get into the artificial intelligence world and we basically kick the door in as like an African-American company, we use that to our advantage to basically rewrite the wheel, make the new rules, create new price points. So same thing with a video game, bro. Like, my video game is not gonna be priced at what Madden priced at. I ain't gonna say what it's gonna be priced at. I'm gonna let y'all see at fall, but it ain't gonna be priced at what Madden. Like, I don't care what Grand Theft, I don't care what nobody's selling this for. we selling ours for this. We gonna stick to that script, and the people that want it gonna respect it and buy it. So for me, bro, in terms of the foresight, it's just identifying, because one thing I realized about our country is built off convenience. So two things I focus on when I'm creating products or services or getting in industries. I try to hone in on things that are universal. Universal meaning like we can get money any time of the year for this. There's no downtime. There's no seasonal. We get money all the time. And it's global, meaning like every nationality does it. So like Grace Essentials, we're rolling out next month. That's the luxury brand, like black soap, water, slides, flip-flops, lighters, all type of stuff. But the big thing with that was I watched how people was fighting for water in the pandemic and toilet tissue. So I hit my product manager. I'm like, bro, let's start a water company right now. Let's get ahead. So if any more shortages come, or if they don't come, we still gonna be able to reign supreme because we have an essential product, which is water. So for me, bro, I'm either gonna try to solve a problem, because people always got problems, or I'm creating products like video games. It's $1 billion industry, like children, adults, old people, everybody play video games. So we gonna harness that same energy we did with the board game. Oh, you know, we the first this, so we the first that, blah, blah, blah. Ride in that world, and you know, we gonna take over that industry too.
Nah, I love it. And so are there any losses in the Derrick Grace? You know, like are there things that you try and that you like, you didn't?
Bro, I'm glad you asked that, because everybody think all my stuff be a win. So I spent like 40 something K total on a food truck a year or two ago, complete L. I invested in the market back in like a year and a half ago, lost $65,000. Didn't make none, just lost 65, complete L. And then of course with the board games, when I first started board games, I didn't have a project manager. I was solely doing everything like as a literal one-man show. And I lost roughly like 180,000 just on those. So yeah, no, bro, I definitely done took some L's.
Nah, for sure. And so now fast forward, you know, this multi-millionaire, soon to be billionaire. If you were to be able to go back and talk to your 18-year-old self, what advice are you giving young DG?
I don't know, bro. I would have talked to my 14-year-old self. I would have told myself finish 9th grade and leave. I wouldn't have done 10th, 11th, or 12th. I'm not big on that system. I'm big on self-education. I do appreciate the basics that they gave me, like adding, subtracting, reading. But other than that, bro, I don't really see a lot of value. I would have told my 14-year-old self, like, bro, get out of here. I know your parents gonna be disappointed, but get out of here and start now. Cause bro, literally if I started at 22, I'm 31 now. Bro, if I had started at 14, like man, I'd probably be sitting on like 100 mil already. 200, 300 mil. So no, definitely. I just would have told my younger self to fail fast. Cause I think that's where a lot of people slip. They use all this time being spooked, worrying, procrastinating, and then they don't shoot for the stars till they 35, which is nothing wrong with that. But you could have expedited the struggle you finna deal with for the next 5 years until you finally get in your sweet spot. If you had to just, buckle down at 20 and just like, I'm finna get on my marathon right now. So, bro, I just would have jumped out the window a lot earlier.
No, I love it. And then, right now, somebody's watching this, somebody has that 9 to 5, they want to start, a business, so they might have like the side business.
Right.
What kind of advice would you give to somebody?
I would tell everybody, number one, get jobs for information and not money. Y'all, they're not giving us enough bread at the workplace anyway for you to defer from what your true, visions and dreams are. That's number one. Get jobs for information and not money. Number two, I'm not anti-job. You feel me? I'm just anti us not having multiple streams of income. This country done showed you a gazillion times, like, you cannot be solely reliant on one bag, unless it's just a super huge bag. Number three is, y'all know my motto, y'all infiltrate, educate, and vacate. So play the part, get into these positions of power and education that you need to within the job. Second step is educate. Steal every bit of intellectual property that you can while you're there. And number three is vacate. You feel me? You got to have the heart, and you got to have a plan of action when you step out of there as to how you're going to not only sustain your lifestyle, but progress your lifestyle. Or you can still keep your job and then begin pouring more energy and resources into your hustle. But anybody in that 9 to 5, bro, I would simply tell them, like, don't die there. And I don't mean in the physical. I don't mean like in a literal sense. I mean more in the mental. Because a lot of us get complacent. A lot of us we just get worn out with the wear and tear that goes to the mind and the body in terms of adulting. that we forget to chase those childlike aspirations that we had from 20 years ago. Like most people watching this video, you're not doing what you said at 6 years old when somebody asks you what you want to do when you grow up. You feel me? So you gotta really sit down with yourself and decide, like, you gonna stay true to you, or you just gonna conform and do what society told you grown people supposed to do once they hit a certain age.
No, I love it. And then now, you know, talk to that entrepreneur, right? The person that went all in, the person that did jump out, that they don't got a 9 to 5. All they got, you know what I'm saying, is the business, right?
Right.
It's like how do you, you know, from a, you know, how do you talk to that entrepreneur who is like they out there grinding, they making it happen, but they just hitting the wall. They don't got no success. Like they don't know what to do, right? How do you help them?
First thing I would tell them is it's your fault. You feel me? So don't look at your consumer base. Don't look at your competition. Genuinely ask yourself, how can you sharpen your iron? How can you get better? And are you really giving the game everything that you can give it? Because to me, bro, that's what a lot of people be slipping. Like, they'll have a business, 30 days, they get a run, they get 3 days of bad sales, they defer, drop the whole bit. Like, no, the game not cut out for people who can't take a L or who can't, you know, scale back. Like, the money switch up and now you ain't got the same energy. So for me, like, bro, the biggest thing gonna be commitment and consistency. I feel like I far outlive a lot of people who started when I did, because, bro, just simply stated, I never quit. Like, I literally was grinding when I wasn't making no money the same way that I'm grinding when I'm making a bunch of money. So to me, bro, like, to me, the game gonna always give you back what you put in it. And a lot of people really don't. They put like a month worth in it and be like, damn, my life ain't changed. Yeah, bro, like, that's a baby not even born. You can't even create a life in 30 days. You feel me? Like, it's a process. So the biggest thing, bro, I would just tell them, remain consistent. You are to blame for all your good and your bad. And, you know, just be who you say you are. When you who you say you are, people gonna rock with you. Feel me? Like, people I tell everybody, like, especially the entrepreneurs, develop a story for what you're doing. Because when people buy into the story, they're gonna support everything you put out from here to the next 30 years.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Now, multi-million-dollar man, when we think about all of the money, all the things that you've bought, what would you say is the most extravagant thing that you've done with money?
Like, positive or negative extravagant?
I mean, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
I give two of them. Positive, I bought my home I live in cash. I was proud of myself. I spent like $1.3 million cash. And then I turned around like a month and a half later, I bought my mama house for $800,000. And the beauty of it is we live 2 houses down. So like, that was just super cool to do. Negative extravagant, bro, it's funny, right? Because my negative extravagant happened this morning. Okay. So look, I ain't want to miss the interview. And I really wanted to be here, but I missed my flight this morning. So I booked us a private flight, and it cost me $20,000 just for a one-way. Wow. And yeah, bro, it wasn't worth it. Like, the flight was cool, but I was just like, 20 grand for this, like, I'm cool. I'm gonna make sure I set 3 alarms and get up and not miss our flight again. So negative extravagant, bro, I would definitely say that probably gotta be it.
Which I appreciate, you know what I'm saying?
No, bro, I was gonna make sure I got here.
That's huge.
I was gonna make sure I got here, but yeah, I think of my expenses, that was probably that one. I was just like, yeah, so we never gonna do this again. Like, I've had some other things I purchased and been like, I'll do it again. But that one, I'm never spending 20 grand again for no hour flight. And they couldn't even supply us with the Wi-Fi. Like, y'all charge me 20 grand and your Wi-Fi broke. Right. And
then what would you say, which is probably, you know, a house, but maybe something else, but what would you say is the most impactful thing you've done with money?
Created a payroll that a gang of my relatives can get on. And I like the fact that, like, one thing I'm big about with my old lady and my children is I want them to have lives in which they do what they actually want to do. And that sounds minuscule to most people, but 99% of people ain't doing what they want to do. Most people get up every day and do what they feel like they have to do or they gotta do. So to me, that's been like one of the coolest things I did with money, was just create a space and environment to where like I know, like, we bump heads all the time, but she don't be knowing what the day is. Or my children don't be knowing what the day is or what the time is. Like, they got Rolex watches and all, and still them like, I don't know what time it is, Dad, but I like the fact that they have a sense of freedom, that they literally just don't have to take life serious unless they just genuinely choose to.
No, I love that. What is your thought on mentorship, right? Because I think that a lot of people, you know, a lot of the guests, a lot of people talk about mentorship. So I would love to get your take on, you know, on mentorship.
Gotcha, bro. I wouldn't say it's necessary, but I think it definitely can be a dangerous additive to your catalog. So like, me and Banner always politic, and we had like real big dog conversation. Like, I ain't been around bro one time, and he ain't pouring to me on a level where I just like, damn, when I get home, I gotta tighten up. Like, bro, you wanna take something crazy, like, and I know Chelsea remember this while I'm telling this story. Like, my first crib, so she relocated to Florida to be with us, right? The crib I introduced her to, like, I didn't always keep it the tidiest because I just be grinding, I be busy. And I remember sitting with him one day, he didn't even know that, but he was just like, bro, I want you to be real intentional about keeping your space very clean because it's gonna help you to have a clear mind. And he was just breaking down all this stuff. And then, bro, like, I really be on my children's head, like, man, hit them lights, pick these toys up, Not in a bad way, but I really got what he said. So, yeah, but nah, bro, I will say that, bro, mentorship to me is a necessity depending on what type of growth you want. So for me, like, I feel like I'm wiser than most. I don't think I'm really smarter than most people, but just my wisdom on another level. And that's just because, I mean, like, even with my pops back in the day when they would play cards, I wasn't the cousin that wanted to go play. I was the cousin that sat quiet, so they ain't notice me, but I was just sitting there soaking up game. I got a brother that's 4 years older than me. Like, I've been outside with him, but even like the person I spend my most time with outside of my pops is, John like 56. I don't be with no young dudes. I be with, you know, the older heads. And yeah, bro, to me, that's why my business, everything matured at such a fast rate, because you know, I'm a good listener for the most part. And
so what would you say, you know, is one of the biggest money myths? You know, like, you know, money doesn't grow on trees. You gotta, you know what I mean? Scared money don't make money. Like what are those, like, give me a money myth that you, as somebody who has built his own wealth, and you've heard these myths over and over. What's a myth that you like?
I got a good one, bro. What is it? Number one, bro, money don't grow on trees. Literally, it doesn't, but it does, y'all. Billions and trillions are being transacted all day. Jump out there and go get you something. Another one, bro, a money myth. I'm trying to remember because it was on the tip of my tongue. Me and Chelsea just talking the other day. Bro, just a simple fact that people think money solve problems. Money can solve outward problems. But if you a bozo, or you hate yourself, or you depressed, or you sad, or whatever the case is, money cannot cover those scars. So I think what happens with a lot of people, I tell people all the time, like, money can't buy character. So like, if your character not intact, you're gonna fumble the ball anyway. So like, that's one of the biggest ones, because entertainment, artistry, movies, it just show us like, money just provides this like utopia-like style of happiness. It definitely can bring some peace. It can isolate you. You can have the finest of the finest. But when you lay down at night, if you're not content and happy with the person you are internally, like, I don't care how much money you got, you hate yourself. You just somebody that got a lot of self-hate with a whole lot of money as well.
No, I love that. All right, so let's do the lightning round. And so in the lightning round, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take some banking terms, right? And we're gonna flip them a little bit. And then we're gonna, see what your thoughts are there. So the first term we're gonna do is deposit slip, right? And deposit slip is, when you go to the bank, a deposit slip is when you take the deposit slip, you put put money in the bank. But for us, deposit slip is a slip up, right? A money mistake that when you think about now, you be like, damn, right? And I know we talked about the private jet, but give me one of the biggest money mistakes that you've made. Like, give me your deposit slip.
Biggest. And a mistake, right?
Yeah, money mistake.
Bro, I had a cousin I did business with, and because we was cousins, I didn't feel the need to have like any contractual obligations, and I gave her $30,000 to take care of something from me, and I haven't heard from that. That's a real cousin I haven't heard from since.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was one of my biggest, my biggest money mistakes.
Wow.
Yeah, like really just super cool. Like, yeah, cuz I got you. Literally met her at Chase and just handed her 30 grand, and yeah, I ain't heard nothing about my money since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And she got it, but at that point, were you at the point that you're at right now?
Absolutely not.
Is
So
that one of the biggest
30
mistakes she's ever made in her life?
No, that 30 meant a lot because I wasn't living how I'm living right now. Like it wasn't my last, but it definitely like 30 hurt back then. Yeah. But yeah, she strung me along for a little bit, like I got you, and then eventually I just never heard nothing from her.
Yeah. And I think it's a lesson on both sides, right? So it kind of like helped you in a way to understand that even if it's family, we're gonna do this the right way. Number one. Right. But then number two, I'm sure that
I don't know, bro. She should have waited like a year and a half to like stick me, because I would have let her hold 100,000 these days. Right. She could have got off, but
exactly. But
she got a 30.
But not even that though, because if you're doing business with if she just would have did good business,
right? I would have reinvested. Right. Like, here go 300.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Next term we're gonna use is charge off, right? And so charge off, somebody uses a credit card, they don't pay the credit card back, the bank charges it off. But for us, charge off is type of people or mindset that you had to charge off during your journey.
All of them. So, bro, one thing my cousin taught me, one of my cousin named Bo, he taught me this. He was like, at every level of life, you got to purge certain people. Everybody can't go. So, bro, whether that was like mothers of my children, not charging them out to say like we don't communicate at all, but the accessibility and the capacity in which you had a relationship, to friends, to like, yeah, bro, my social media tell it all, bro. I've been in the house with my children and my old lady. Like, other than that, we isolated, we secluded. But no, but charge off is real and necessary. I charge off people year round. Yeah. Like, it really got to the point where I kind of ain't got nobody to charge off no more, because you know, we done kicked everybody off the island at this point. Right, gotta protect the peace. And last one, trust account, right? And so a trust account is an account where you hold your assets that, you know, you help them grow. When you think about, you know, your journey and where you are right now, you know, who would you say is in your trust account that's helped protect your assets and help you grow? That's a good one. I definitely say my pops, based on, both of them, my pops and John, both of them just giving it. And bro, I'm hard-headed too, stubborn. And I'm sure they identify this. So they don't force it, but they know how to sprinkle little things in to be like, let me hit them on the subconscious real quick. I say them two. And bro, I say my old lady, like, she matured me to a amazing place. Cause me, bro, the me you met 4 years ago, I was a wild dude. We super reckless. I seen the growth. Super reckless. I seen the growth, bro. I seen the growth. So even bro, like even with her, like, she's educated me on, sometimes accidental, but just understanding how to, I got 5 daughters. So it's imperative that I understand how to deal with feminine energy, or be a little softer, or whatever the case is, bro. So I would say them two, her, and bro, my biggest lessons, or the people that give me the most, is my children. Cause they're a constant reminder, like, I need to extend my life, I need to extend my business, and I need to extend the education and the protection as far as possible. Like, bro, I don't know if you ever got this feeling, but I look at my children and I be like, damn, I gotta make sure, like, I sustain my life to a 90, cause like, y'all really make me wanna, you know, remain here to keep giving y'all what I'm giving y'all. And I plan on having 10 more, bro, so I definitely 10 more. I mean, not 10 more, 10 total. I'm about to say, I said 10 more, 16. I want 7 to 10 children, somewhere up in there, so. Okay. Yeah, for sure, the babies do it. And speaking of, right, 7 to 10, we got some special guests in the building. If we could bring the beautiful babies on, Miss Derrick. Come on, Melanie, y'all come on, babe. Y'all come say what's up. Hey. Stand right, babe. Come on, daughters. Turn around. Dad ain't gonna hold you yet. The beautiful babies. Y'all gonna say hey? And we go put Derrick on the hot spot, right? Cool. Miss Derrick, right? You know, talk to me about, you know, how does it feel to have, you know, Derrick Grace the second, the Derrick Grace as your dad, as somebody who's, like, you know, pouring everything into you, as being, you know, just being your dad. How's that feel? Give a real answer. Speak up. Give an answer.
I don't know.
But you do know we have questions, we have conversations where you can identify differences between you and other children. So speak on that.
I know I'm putting you on the spot, so you know what I mean. It's all good, you know what I mean. Because I've seen you on, I've seen you on camera, so I know you got the game. I know you got the game.
Yeah, bro. Wasn't she in the interview, the last one 4 years ago?
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She was. And then Miss Chelsea, talk to me real quick about that partnership, because I think that one of the things that I appreciate, because like I said, I've known DG for a while. And I know how wild he was, right? And then watching who he is today, I know that balance really like comes from you, but I also know, right? He's taught you a lot, but you also teach him a lot. How does it feel, right? How does it feel to be in a relationship, in a partnership, for him, like bearing his soul about how connected y'all are? How does that feel to be in that position?
It feels safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels comfortable.
Yeah. And when you say it feels safe, it feels comfortable, is it something that you thought that you would be in this position, or like? Cause like this, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
bro, even for me, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think I was.
Yeah.
My motto at one point was just like, I'ma just get old, be super successful, have children, have like 10 children from a couple moms, and just wild out till I leave here.
Yeah.
It wasn't expected. We have stories all the time, and I thought that I was gonna be the rich auntie.
The rich auntie, and now, like you are part keeper of a whole empire. Yeah.
I love it though.
You love it. And then, bro, one thing that I'm even more proud of with my next wave of children is they understand what a call to action is, and I think that's so important. I be telling people like, if you in business, let me ask your children what you're doing and see what type of answer they give. If you really grinding how you say you grinding. So, Melanin. If anybody that's watching this video want to buy your daddy stuff, what they need to do?
You want to buy the Derrick.
No, don't say it fast. Speak up. Don't be shy, babe. Tell me one more time. Say it loud. Babe, what they need to go to? Derrick, what?
DerrickGrace.com.
No, there we go.
You forgot the 2, baby. DerrickGrace2.com, right?
Yes.
All right. But yeah, bro, I'm like, and seriously though, to the entrepreneurs who watching y'all, a call to action is so important. People can watch your visual all day and not take nothing away from what you said if you don't hit them with a call to action. So I love the fact that even my youngins, like if they had a board game right now, they could literally tell you like, oh, you want one? Go ahead, click the link in his bio at DerrickGrace2.com.
Love it. Love it. All right, y'all, another powerful interview. If you're not impacted by this, like I said, Derrick Grace too, definitely a powerful manifesto. I gotta find that old interview, man, because I promise you, we were talking that talk. You were like, yo, 100.
Bro, I got it in my Dropbox.
Yeah, I got to, bro, because to be able to be at a space where, literally 5 years ago or 4 years ago, we talk about where you are, and then to get to a space where you said where you're going to be and where you are today, multi-million-dollar man, father, who was taking care of his children, his family, his mother, like really taking it to the next level. So I appreciate that. Do not look at this man. Like I said, this is one of the smartest men I know. Right, so do not look at this man and make a judgment based on what you see. Really tap in. If you want to take your fatherhood to the next level, if you want to take your life to the next level, I promise you, if you invest in yourself. I wouldn't even say invest in Derrick Grace, to be honest with you. I've bought many products and services from him. I'll tell you, if you invest in yourself, you'll really get to that space of really becoming that supreme being, right? Sure. Because that knowledge of self, that knowing that you are the plug, you are the source, everything revolves. So happy Father's Day. Make sure y'all tap in, share this with everybody that you know. This is another powerful episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash. First and foremost, I want to give a special happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I'm telling you, if you're looking to make, take your life to the next level and really just pour into yourself, pour into your children, pour into your family, make sure you tap in DerrickGrace2.com. Make sure you invest. I'm not even gonna say invest in him, invest in yourself, and really just get that knowledge, because once you know who you are, know that you're the source, know that of the knowledge of self, you're really gonna take your life to the next level. So I appreciate y'all. Share this video with the fathers out there, with your brother, with whoever you know that could be impacted with this video. Make sure you share it with them. We're closing the vault. I am Ash Cash. I'll see you next time, same place, in God's will. Peace.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You want Ash Cash, you can catch it right here in the vault.